W Daniels was very kind, very supportive, very loving.
Very supportive.
So he was a man of honesty, a man of character, a man of great wisdom and knowledge.
His character was above reproach.
Very protective. Very protective. No one ever called him Cyrus. Yeah, he was CW to everybody.
He was a great husband to Mrs. Daniels.
CW and his wife, they were great helpers.
And he was very meticulous. He was very punctual. He was the kind of person that dotted every I and crossed every T. He was par excellent. So he was a great person. He was a father of 2 children, and we have that history. Brenda, the oldest, and then Cyrus Wilburn Daniels Jr.
And during the time that we were raised, as you know, things were not integrated, they were segregated. So it was important to them for us to use the brain power we had in order to make ourselves better and be qualified for whatever it is that we wanted to do in life.
In the community, he was a member of the Citizens and Improvement League. He loved preparing the young men for the all-boys state. He was a veteran himself, so he was part of the VFW. Daniels was involved in the National Education Association, the Georgia Teachers Education Association, the Griffin Retired Teachers Association, Older Americans Association, American Legion Post 546. He served on the boards of the Griffin Housing Authority and the Flint River Regional Library.
That is a person who looks at the whole. So in working with the students and with the faculty, he wanted to make sure that not only were their academic minds fed, but their creative minds, their artistic minds as well. So he encouraged various clubs to be formed within the school in order to give children a chance to be more creative. Like, we had a debating society, creative dance, social organizations like what you'll find on a college campus. And he walked the halls of Fairmont High School. He encouraged them to learn how to write speeches and deliver speeches grammatically correct that formed thoughts from the beginning to the end. With the church, he was always at the church. He was a firm believer that you go to church and you worship God and you do what you can. You use the skills that God gave you in the church. And so he worked, with the deacon board, and he was a treasurer.
He was a financial secretary and treasurer.
And just made himself available to most of the members of the church who were in need. And my dad was very involved in Mount Zion Baptist Church. He was most passionate about students taking every opportunity that was given to them, not to look at education any other way but as something positive. He wanted them to excel. He wanted them to succeed, and they knew it. And so when they did, they'd come back and tell him. He helped Larry Rayfield Wright. He played, as you know, pro football with Dallas. Well, my dad somehow arranged for him to get some financial aid for school. And in so doing, it helped him complete college. And, of course, he was drafted to the pros. And when Larry wrote a book called, I think it was called Just Right, he made mention of how my dad helped him and how he received this money every month, but my dad never would tell him where it came from. No nonsense attitude. having a Christian-like character, always wanting to help people. He was a mediator, especially during the times when the schools integrated. There was a reasonably smooth transition of closing Fairmont High School and the students there going to Griffin High. But what he did is, in working with Griffin High, they came up with a means by which, once the students came to Griffin High, they did not feel like they were just there. His goal is that he wanted them to be comfortable going into a new situation. He served as director of secondary education for the school system when we were in school during segregation, but we didn't realize we didn't have. We didn't realize that the reason why we didn't have a bus to take us from Fairmont over to the stadium, that we marched it. We marched over there, we marched back. We didn't think anything of it. We had fun and enjoyed it and thought it was just something marvelous. So what he did, along with the teachers at Fairmont, was he caused us not to realize that we were in a situation where we weren't supposed to be getting top-notch education. We weren't supposed to be getting new books. We weren't supposed to be getting new uniforms for the band or dresses for the choir. They just made us feel like we were, as they say, we were the bomb. We just thought Fairmont High School was it. They are so proud of where they came from. And I look at that as a testament to my dad.
Probably had one of the longest tenure as principal of historical Fairmont High School, and he was a counselor.
And he was a great master of details.
And he was a great man.